Greetings. Welcome. So, when you're dealing with high blood pressure and you're working towards getting to the root cause of the problem, one thing that you have to understand is how to properly use this machine. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the what, the when, and the how aspect of properly taking your blood pressure. Because over the last 6 years, I can really say that I've seen a lot of fundamental flaws from individuals that are struggling with blood pressure issues, and they're not understanding how to properly use their tools. So we're going to break down the what, when, and the how aspect of taking your blood pressure. That way you can make sure that you're successful at being consistent with this process, getting the accurate numbers. That way you can work your way to the root cause. That way you can work your way to the root cause of this problem and get off prescription pills. So we're going to begin with the when aspect, when to properly take your blood pressure, because this is very important. Because if you're taking your blood pressure at different times throughout the day, this can have a profound negative impact on your blood pressure. So understanding when is going to be very important. The biggest aspect of the when is this: you want to make sure that you're taking your blood pressure twice per day, 2 times. We're going to focus on the 2 different times that you focus on taking your blood pressure. The first time is going to be in the morning time after you use the restroom, but before you take your medication. That's going to be the first time you take your blood pressure. After you use the restroom, before you take your medication. And this is why. When you focus on taking blood pressure during this time frame, you allow for your body's natural processes to take place. When you wake up in the morning and your bladder is full, this increases the inside of your body. You got to use the bathroom, bladder's full, you kind of feel the pressure when you go into the restroom. This increase in pressure has a direct impact on your blood flow, your blood pressure as well. So if you're taking your blood pressure before you relieve yourself in the morning, this can have a negative impact on your blood pressure, anywhere between 5 and 10 points. So understanding that you want to use the bathroom first before you take your blood pressure, this will allow for you to have a more consistent blood pressure reading with your body in a more restful state, instead of having your bladder full, extra fluid inside your body that could be negatively influencing your blood pressure. So making sure that you're using the bathroom first is going to be very important when you're taking your blood pressure. And you want to also make sure that you're taking your blood pressure before you take your medication. Reason being, you want to know how your body is working, or flowing rather, without the influence from the prescription pills. Because if you take your blood pressure after you've taken your prescription pills, the medication are already influencing your body through different pathways, and you're not getting an accurate understanding of how your body is utilizing or how your body is properly working without the influence of the medication. So when you take your blood pressure, you want to make sure you're taking it before you take your medication, because those medications can cause your blood pressure to drop, and when the blood pressure is dropping, this is fine, but it's not an accurate depiction of how your body's working without them. So when you take your blood pressure in the morning, you want to make sure you're taking it before. You want to make sure you're taking it after you're using the bathroom, but before you're taking your medication. That's going to be one of the most important time frames. And when you take your medication, when you take your blood pressure, you want to make sure that you're taking your blood pressure 2 times in each session. You want to take your blood pressure, get the reading, write it down, and then take your blood pressure again 1 to 2 minutes later, and write those numbers down and average them out, and that average is going to be your reading for that particular session. You don't want to just rely on one single blood pressure number. Take your blood pressure reading twice in that session, use that average as your blood pressure. And next up, when you take your blood pressure for the second time per day, you want to make sure that it falls within this time frame. For that second blood pressure reading, you want to make sure that it happens between 5 p.m. and dinner time. 5 p.m. and dinner time. And here's why. If you take your blood pressure after dinner, your body is now in digestion mode, meaning that your heart has to work a little bit harder to increase the blood flow into your organs, into your digestive system. And when the blood flow increases, the blood pressure is going to rise, it's going to elevate. So understanding that you want to take your blood pressure before dinner time to have a more accurate depiction of what's happening internally, because your food you're eating and the digestion that's happening could influence your blood pressure, causing the numbers to be higher than what they typically should be. And understanding that from 5 p.m. until that dinner time frame, most of us are typically winding down. Our days coming to an end. 5 o'clock, some of us may be in traffic, some of us may be home already. But between 5 o'clock and dinner time, we should all be settling down versus, that 12, 1 o'clock time frame where we're still at the height of our day. So understanding between 5 o'clock p.m. and dinner time, we should be settling ourselves. And if you take your blood pressure before dinner, this is going to give you the chances for a more accurate reading. That way you can better understand that way you better understand your blood pressure and have more accurate numbers. So the main thing you have to focus on, when you take your blood pressure, you want to take it twice per day. There's no need to take it 3, 4, 5 times per day. You want to focus on 2 times. Anything over 2 can be more damaging than good. Reason being, it's going to cause you more stress and anxiety than anything, just worrying about your blood pressure. Take it twice per day. In the morning, after you use the bathroom, but before you take your medication, and in the evening from 5 p.m. to before dinner time. Those are going to be your best windows for when to take your blood pressure. The next most important thing that I see many people struggle with is the how aspect of their blood pressure. You have to understand how to properly take your blood pressure. And I'm not just talking about how you use the machine, but I'm talking about the overall aspect of what's happening from the time you put this machine in your hand, the arm you're using, as well as what you're doing when you're taking your blood pressure. The number one thing I see many individuals fail at or come up short at when it comes to this aspect is we'll get our blood pressure monitor, we'll have a seat in the chair, we'll strap it on, and then we press start and we go. We have to understand that as you're moving along throughout the day, and you're moving your body is going to be, your blood pressure is going to be elevated. Your body's in motion, so a lot of things are happening. So understanding when it's time to take your blood pressure, you need to relax and settle yourself. Most people don't settle themselves before they take the blood pressure. They just grab the monitor and they dive right into it. Taking 3 to 5 minutes to settle yourself could be the difference in a 10 to 15 point swing for many individuals. Because if you're just moving and grooving and all of a sudden you just take your blood pressure, you're going to see an elevated reading. But if you allow yourself to settle 3 to 5 minutes before you take your reading, sit down, breathe, take a few deep breaths and settle yourself, you will see some huge differences in your overall blood pressure. So understanding that the number one rule you must follow when you're taking your blood pressure is to relax before you get started. So number one is relax. Number 2 is all about the arm that you're supposed to use to take your blood pressure. The proper arm to use when taking your blood pressure is going to be your left arm. And I'm going to explain this in more detail. That way you can understand why it's your left arm and why this is the most important arm when it comes down to accuracy and consistency. When you use the left arm, matter of fact, let me dial it back a little bit. In medical settings, doctors are trained to use your left arm, nurses, so they use the left arm, as well as pretty much every hospital, every clinic, they use the left arm. And they use it largely for consistency. If one doctor is using the left, the next one's using the left, everyone's following the left, they're going to get consistent results from the individuals that they're testing by using the left arm. When you switch up to the right arm, you're going to have a difference in the blood pressure readings for several reasons. Number one, it has a lot to do with your brachial artery. Your brachial artery goes through your shoulder, down your arm to your elbow, and also connected directly to your aorta and your heart. So understanding that this is a main artery that's going on, and it's what's used to help you measure your blood pressure. On the left side, the brachial artery is closer to the heart than it is on the right side. So we have to understand that this is on the left side, it's going to give you a closer, more accurate reading. And what happens is, typically when individuals take it in the left and switch to the right, they will see a 5 to 10 point swing in the blood pressure numbers. So understanding that the reason that swing is up and down is due to the brachial artery and the closeness that it is to your heart. So understanding that the left arm is going to give you a more accurate blood pressure reading, and you should be consistent with taking it in your left arm to get a better understanding of your numbers. Now, what happens is some doctors or medical professionals may use the right arm for various reasons. One of them is, let's say if you're dealing with dialysis, or you have a rod in your arm, or you have an injury or other type of issues in your left arm, they will switch you over to your right arm. And those are basic reasons why. Like, the right arm isn't wrong, but it's going to be very different from what the left arm is. Now, if you're someone that uses your left arm and your right arm to take your blood pressure, and you see huge differences in the two, this is very important. Now, most average individuals, they'll see a 5 or 10 point swing in the left and the right arm. But if you're someone that see 10, 20 point swings between the left and right arm, or anything higher like that, this is a sign that there could be some arterial stiffness and damage that's happening to the blood vessels that's contributing to the blood pressure issues that you're experiencing. So there's a number of things that happen when we use the left and right arm, but the better you understand the impact or the influence that it has on your blood pressure, the more in control you'll actually be when it comes down to understanding your numbers and getting to the root cause of the problem. And again, my book, The High Blood Pressure Breakdown, I go a lot deeper into understanding these different aspects of our blood pressure, lifestyle changes, and how to get to the root cause of the problem. So if you're interested in learning more, you can go to eliminatehighbloodpressure.com, or you can go to Amazon and search up High Blood Pressure Breakdown. So again, the left arm is going to be the right arm. The left arm is going to be the proper arm to use when you're monitoring your blood pressure, mainly because of that brachial artery, as well as just having a consistent routine between yourself, your doctors, any other care providers that may be taking your blood pressure as well. So number 3, once you relax and get yourself settled, and you're using your left arm to properly take your blood pressure, the last thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is sitting down and focus on this whole process. There's been many times where individuals are taking their blood pressure and they're on the phone, they're laying down, they're talking to individuals, or they're not sitting down flat, and they're doing things that can alter the blood pressure reading. You have to understand that simply being on the phone while you're taking your blood pressure will influence the readings. Standing up while taking your blood pressure, or laying down while taking your blood pressure, all of these things influence blood pressure readings and can affect the accuracy of the blood pressure machine. So understanding that, you want to make sure that you're sitting down, back straight up, arm up, elevated to heart level, and you have your cuff on the left arm, and you're properly taking your blood pressure. These things are very important, and so many people aren't properly doing them, and they're getting blood pressure readings that are higher than what they typically should be. So understanding that these aspects all come together to help you have a better understanding of your blood pressure. So making sure that you're relaxing yourself, as well as using your left arm, and making sure you're in the right position is going to all help you get better control of your blood pressure. And 3, the last and final thing is going to be the what aspect of your blood pressure. What to do with the information. Many people do nothing with the information, meaning that we get our blood pressure reading, we see that it's 145/93, and we go about our day and continue to do what we do. So understanding that one of the most important aspects of getting to the root cause of your blood pressure problem is documenting the journey. You got to write it down. Write down your blood pressure numbers. If you take your blood pressure and it's elevated 145/93 and you're trying to work your way off of prescription pills, get you a journal, write it down. Write down the information. Today, Tuesday, blah, 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 my blood pressure was whatever the numbers were, write them down. When you write your blood pressure information down, this gives you an understanding of where you're at. That way you can know where you're going. And as you document the journey, you will be able to see trends in your blood pressure, whether it's positive or negative. You'll be able to see the differences of things that are happening and how your day-to-day lifestyle is influencing your blood pressure. For example, if I woke up this morning and my blood pressure was 150/97. I woke up, I seen my numbers high. I decided to make sure I go to the gym today. I didn't have the pizza, but instead I had a salad. I got exercise. I had a great day at work and I wasn't stressed out by the kids. I had an overall good day. Boom. I got up in the next morning. I took my blood pressure and it was 129/85. I saw that my blood pressure came down a little bit. This helps you to understand how the positive aspect or the health promoting activities that you're applying to your lifestyle, how they could positively influence your blood pressure. And vice versa, where your blood pressure might be 125 or 130/80, and you decided to go out that night and you had a couple drinks, so you stayed out extra late and didn't get to bed before 5 o'clock in the morning. And when you took your blood pressure the next day, your blood pressure was 145/90 and elevated. You will be able to see the trend of the negative things that you're doing or positive things that you're doing that are positively influencing your blood pressure or negatively influencing your blood pressure. And if your goal is to get off of prescription pills, you have to understand the numbers, where you're at and where you're going. And as you continue to apply different tactics and strategies to help you get to the root cause of the problem, you are going to start to see the blood pressure numbers trend in the right direction. And if you're someone that continues to, do things that are inconsistent with having a regulated blood pressure, you will see the negative aspects of it. But understanding that you must document the journey is key when it comes to getting to the root cause of the problem. So number one, understanding when to take your blood pressure. Take your blood pressure 2 times per day. In the morning, after you use the bathroom, before you take your medication. In the evening, you want to take it from 5 p.m. to dinner time. Those are going to be the best windows. In the morning, after you use the bathroom before medication. In the evening, from 5 p.m. to dinner time, before dinner time, those are the best time frames to take it. When it comes down to how to take your blood pressure, get your blood pressure monitor and relax 3 to 5 minutes before you take your blood pressure. Once you're ready and relaxed, you go ahead and strap it onto your left arm. Left arm is best for consistency. Right arm is best if you're dealing with injuries or other complications. Left arm is your primary resource when it comes down to taking your blood pressure. After you relax and you have your left arm, make sure you're seated and you're focused on taking your blood pressure. Not on the phone, not laying down, not slouching. Back straight, seated, strapped up, ready to go. And last but not least, make sure you're documenting your journey and understanding your numbers as you move forward through this whole process. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you got any questions, feel free to drop them down in the chat below. But don't forget, I got my high blood pressure breakdown and my high blood pressure cookbook. These are 2 tools that are available. You can go to eliminatehighbloodpressure.com, or you can simply just go to Amazon, type in high blood pressure breakdown. You'll find these tools available to help you on your journey to getting to the root cause of your blood pressure problem. So with that being said, peace and blessings, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.